Hi, everybody. So I want to do a deep dive into a marketing method, and this probably applies more to a service-based business than anything else. But I mean, the principles could apply to anything, honestly. But I'm going to describe for you, for a bookkeeping business, how how you build up referral partners. Now, I've I've done this without spending money other than my time. And I have also done this through spending money. Okay. Because there are referral groups out there. And I have found great value in doing those. Uh, some referral groups have been good and some have not been good. I've wasted money on them sometimes. Um, but generally speaking, they can be very good. Okay. But here are the things that I have learned from them. Okay. That you can apply um, through just the people you know. All right. So the thing you have to think about in a service type of business is who are natural referral partners. That is, now this doesn't mean that you can't talk to anybody. You can talk to anyone. You never know where you may find a client, right? Um, in fact, if I've as I have sat at a restaurant chatting up a wait person, sometimes I have brought this up. Like, for instance, I was out recently just hanging out one Sunday afternoon, because a lot of times on a Sunday, I like driving around in the area that I live, looking for places that I've never seen before. Um, and like we ran across this winery one day, and they weren't really busy. And so we struck up a conversation with the person there. And I said, well, I own a bookkeeping business, and she's like, oh, really? And so it's kind of one of those things. She said, we have a bookkeeper, but we've thought about maybe changing. Now, nothing ever came of it, but the fact that I brought it up, I potentially could have gotten a client from that. You just never know, right? Um, so part of this is when you think of referral partners, like for me personally, with a bookkeeping business, natural referral partners are CPAs, enrolled agents, um, any other kind of tax professional that's out there. Financial planners can be good sources of referrals. That depends on who it is sometimes and kind of who they work with, right? So, like if you looked at LinkedIn and looked up financial planners, you could probably find a whole bunch of people, not only in your own network, but outside of your network. And you reach out to them and ask if you could have a conversation. Most people are going to respond with a yes, you know, easy cheesy, right? Um, and because I have an accounting background, a lot of the people that I know are accountants or CPAs or whatever, financial professionals. Okay. Another sort of natural referral partner could be former CFOs, and especially CFOs who've gone into business for themselves, working with clients, because a lot of times the clients they work with need bookkeepers. Okay. And a CFO doesn't really want to do that, often. In fact, a lot of CPAs don't want to do bookkeeping, even though they could, right? And from a small business standpoint, a bookkeeper is often a cheaper financial professional. Okay. Um, so, you have a place by offering bookkeeping services. Um, so you can hone in on these natural referral partners. So if you are a data analytics professional or a cybersecurity professional or whatever it might be, there could be some really natural referral partners, or you can talk to anyone in your network and just say, this is what I'm doing. This is how I can help people, you know. Um, and if people need help with this, give them my name, give them my contact info, give them this handout, right? Which I'll talk about that handout a little later. But Nonetheless, who are these natural referral partners? And even if you don't have those, just start talking to people. All right. So now, once you start talking to people, whether you've identified this natural group or you're just starting to talk to your network, okay? And even if you're introverted, don't worry about this part, okay? Because if you come to this, if you come at this conversation with, this is how I can help people, and it's just a one-on-one, you know, uh, oftentimes you're not talking to a multitude of people. You're not talking to 2,000 people or anything like that. Plus, I structure all these on Zoom. I just do them over this kind of medium, right? Although I have talked to some people in person, and every once in a while I talk to somebody over the phone. Okay. Um, but this is kind of what I do. I say, I just want to introduce you to the fact that I have uh, a business and that I am a bookkeeper, and I work with small to medium sized businesses. Now, um, that can be any number of people. It could be, businesses that have one person. It could be businesses that have a handful of people. It could even be a business that has hundreds of people in it. You know, like some of our larger clients can earn millions of dollars in a year. And they have a few hundred employees working for them, right? Um, so we can handle a lot of capacity here. Um, and really, it's not your job to kind of figure that out. It's just if you hear people talking about that they're frustrated with the financial side of their business, which is a common complaint, or you hear people saying, my bookkeeper has been MIA, which we see that happen sometimes with people. My bookkeeper is not keeping my books up to date, because sometimes these conversations just kind of come out of people, right? So you're just keeping your antenna open, to, oh, or even a person who's like, I want to start a business, and I'm not sure where to go or how to do it financially. We are a person that can help with that sort of thing, right? We've helped small businesses get started at times, and then help them keep their books over time. So we can actually help somebody from the very beginning, or we can step into a situation where they're struggling with their financials. Uh, like we worked with someone once who went to a banker to get a loan and couldn't because their financials were in such bad shape, right? Um, and so bankers can be a natural place to talk to people about what you do and how you do it and things like that. And so when you get into that conversation, it's just really, I'm not expecting anything. I'm not expecting you to have a certain number of referrals in a year or anything like that, but this is what we do. And I'm going to give you this PDF so that you have information about who we are and what we do. And if you ever hear anybody frustrated with the financial aspect of running a business, owning a business, etc., we are a person that you can refer to for that person. Okay. So it's an easy, cheesy conversation. In fact, most times this can be a half hour. Okay. So for those of you that are introverted, for example, maybe you do one of these a week. Maybe that's all you can do. Okay. For somebody more extroverted, doing 10 in a week probably won't be a big deal. Right. But if you do it on a consistent basis, you will be surprised as to what kind of clients come out of that. Right. And even if you have products, or any other kind of services, this kind of model can be useful, right? Because, like, let's say that you have a business and you're not even sure where you could go to market yourself, getting people on a phone call in your natural network, with people you already know, and go, I'm doing this and I want to start selling these products or selling these services. Have you ever heard of anybody that's done that? Right? Maybe 9 times out of 10, people are going to go, no, I don't, but I'll keep my eyes open, and every once in a while you might have somebody say, oh, I have an idea for you. There's this thing or that thing or this event or that event that you can go to. And then all of a sudden, you've got a natural place to go. Okay. So, really, part of this, yes, is the unknown. And that is the, like when we go to school, often we're like, here's the book, here's the answers, da, 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 blah, right? But when you're out there working on your own business, sometimes it's like, oh, I have this challenge. I need to talk to people around me, see what they know, see if they know anything, see if there's anywhere that I can go. And then all of a sudden, there's an opening, right? Um, so it's an investigatory sort of curiosity that you have to have about your business, your products, your services, and just start chatting people up, And if you're introverted, it might be a little less, but consistent over time. And if you're extroverted, it might be a lot, but consistent over time. But the whole key here is that you have the means to be able to start talking to people. And I honestly have found, like through these referral groups that I've been a part of, this has been really powerful to have other people out there with their antenna up, thinking about you. And then all of a sudden they're like, they hear something and they're like, oh, I have the person that you can talk to. Right. And it doesn't mean that they'll end up working with you, but at least you're getting those referrals. Okay. Now, another thing to think about is to potentially reward those referral people. So it could be a thank you gift at the end of the year. Keep track of who has given you referrals and the business that you've gotten from them. Send them, a gift at the holidays, or something like that. Like for instance, when we get a referral from a client, we have started now with doing a statement credit. Okay, and I will detail kind of what we've done around that, and share that with you as well. But it's a way of recognizing people for their thoughtfulness and their engagement with you. And I have offered, some free time as well, for people. So, those are ways, you can get fairly creative about those kinds of things, in terms of kind of how you implement rewards for referrals and things like that. Okay. All right. So, again, this is, you want to get clear on your services, which we'll talk about in another video. We want to, your products and services, what it is that you offer, and that you can talk to it. And if you truly believe that you have value in what you do, which I do, I'm highly introverted, and I always thought I would never be able to talk about this with people. But I can, because I believe in what I do. I have proven over and over and over again I can be a valuable resource for a small business. Okay. So that's all that it takes, is really the belief in yourself and what you do. And there's a lot of services out there, and a lot of products that people can do that are so unique to you and everything. So I look forward to you working on this part. So make sure that as you're developing this, you update your template for your business plan. Also, if this is going to cost you something, that you're updating your cash flow and those financial documents. And other than that, it's just the nitty-gritty of having these conversations with people and finding ways to get your products and your services out in front of people. Okay. All right. So thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.